On this episode, we're going to talk a little bit about tequila pricing these days, right here on the Tequila Hombre, coming up next. Hello and welcome to this episode of the Tequila Hombre, where today we're going to talk a little bit about tequila these days and pricing. I know there's been a lot of concern about some pricing that's been happening out there. And, here at Tequila Hombre, we're not just about reviews and telling you about what tequila to drink or what not to drink, but instead we also like to do a little bit of education and include education in our videos. So this one's going to be more of an educational video to kind of inform you about the different pricing things that are happening and what to look for and what to stay away from. Let's not waste any more time. Let's get into it now. All right, so first let's talk a little bit about some of the expensive tequilas that are coming out and why the pricing on them. Okay, so let's talk about the El Tesoro 85th Anniversary Edition. This is a special edition, limited edition, extra añejo that is basically crafted for the tequila connoisseur, the tequila lover. It's an extra añejo that's aged for a minimum of 3 years in 30th anniversary edition Booker's barrels. Okay, so the Bookers spend 16 up to 16 years in these barrels, and then they had to take these barrels and truck them from Kentucky to Mexico. So you incur costs doing that, paying the trucker to get it from the United States to Mexico, and then they had to place their Blanco tequila, El Tesoro Blanco tequila, in these barrels, and it had to sit for 3 years. That's 3 years. This tequila is not generating any income for El Tesoro brand or La Alteña, okay? And also, you have to dedicate manpower to it to check on these barrels to make sure they don't get over-oaked, to make sure that they're being aged properly, and to make sure that it is going to represent the El Tesoro brand the way they want it represented. Okay, not only that, they did some really nice packaging on these because it's meant for the collector. It's meant for the serious tequila connoisseur. So it has a nice El Tesoro box that you can put on your bar that represents just how luxurious this extra añejo is. So it generates a higher price tag for that. So I can understand the price. The price is kind of justified. It's not crazy. It's not gouging. They just need to recuperate their expenses that were incurred in making this tequila. Now, another tequila that's kind of expensive as well is the new Diablito Rojo from 123 Organic Tequila, where this one is aged 7 years. 7 years in new French oak barrels. So they had to incur the cost of buying new French oak barrels. And then 7 years of waiting for these to age in a tequila. This tequila to age in the barrel. So they're not generating any revenue off this tequila. It is sitting there in a barrel in the warehouse. And then they finish it in Napa Cab, special top producer Napa Cab barrels that they had to truck from California, Napa Valley in California, down to Mexico. And then the tequila had to sit some more in these barrels, not generating any revenue, incurring costs because the barrels cost money to bring in. The French oak barrels cost money. The Cabernet barrels cost money to bring down. And then it's just sitting there with workforce people working on it to monitor it, make sure it doesn't get over oaked, make sure it doesn't go bad, make sure that it's at the right temperature and the right humidity, all this kind of energy and stuff put towards it. So it's going to generate a higher price tag. This one's also for a connoisseur. So they did the packaging on it where they put a nice box so it could sit on your bar and you could be proud to show this special bottle. Also limited edition. There's only 2,000 bottles of it made. So they have to then, recuperate their costs over 2,000 bottles, right? So then they have to take the tequila when it's finished in Mexico, truck it to the United States, pay the import tax on it, cover all the additional costs on it, and have to spread that cost among 2,000 bottles. Then they also have to, everyone gets their markup. So, the distributor gets their markup, the importer gets their markup, and the retailer gets their markup. So that brings the cost up as well on both of these tequilas. So that's why you're seeing a higher suggested retail price on it. It allows everybody that's in the process to make money, including the tequila producers. So when a tequila starts out with a higher cost and it's a higher, price on it, it just gets more and more as it goes through the importer, the distributor, and the retailer. So that's why you're seeing higher prices there. These tequilas are not meant for everybody to buy. They're meant for the true tequila connoisseurs, the true tequila lovers who appreciate a really good product and want something that they can display proudly on their bar and enjoy with friends for special occasions or whenever they want to drink it. And it's not meant for everybody. So yeah, it's expensive because it's geared more towards the people that will appreciate a product like this. So people are always, well, why are they so expensive now? You used to be able to buy them, with inflation, with the price of gas, the price of trucking, everything, the price of glass, everything has gone up. Everything is skyrocketed in cost with inflation. Inflation is not just here in the US, it's worldwide. So because of that, it's driving the prices up and causing us to have to pay more for special editions. And if you look too, it's really not that off with the El Tesoro 85th. The 80th was $299.99 5 years ago. Okay, with all the stuff that we've gone through with glass shortages, with the cost of gasoline and trucking, labor costs, all that stuff, it's right in line with where the $299 price was 5 years ago, charging $499 today. It's really not that bad. Now, the part where things get bad is with like the Fortaleza Winter Blend 2022 edition. With a limited edition Reposado, like what Fortaleza has created, it's a special edition, but what's happening is there's price gouging. It is 100% price gouging with the Fortaleza Winter Blend. So here's what happens, okay? Back in the day when they first created the first version of Winter Blend, everybody sold it for, basically what the suggested retail price was. And what happened was everyone knew that it was a limited edition, and so these collectors went in and were buying up by the case to the point where there was none left. And then these collectors, these resellers, were then selling it for 3 times the price to people that really wanted to try it. They're selling it in Facebook groups or on Reddits or through other groups where they try to resell tequila, on a third market or what I call a gray market. And what happened is all of these retailers are in these groups. They're seeing these people get 3 to 4 times what they charged for this tequila. And so they say to themselves, well, people are willing to pay this for this tequila and it's allocated. I have to sell a lot of Fortaleza and, in order to get a certain amount of bottles. Why shouldn't I get these prices? And so the retailers now are jacking up the prices to keep these resellers from getting the prices that they were charging, which is ridiculous. You should not have to pay 3 to 4 times what the retail cost is or what the suggested retail price is on a bottle like this. You should never do that. So that is the issue with the Winter Blend. And the more that you and I refuse to pay 3 to 4 times the retail price of these barrels, the better chance we have of getting those prices back down, because it's the demand and it's the fact that people are paying the higher prices that are driving these higher prices. All right, so be strong. Don't let FOMO take over and drive your buying decisions, okay? Use your brain and say, this product should sell for this year. The retail price is about $129.99, and it's selling between $129 to $159.99 is the range that you should look for it in, because there's different taxes in different states as well. So sometimes it drives the prices up depending on what state you're in and what kind of tax level you're dealing with. All right, so don't pay anything more than between like $129.99 to $159.99. And the people that are buying these tequila with hopes of reselling it for 3 to 4 times what they paid for it will be sitting on those bottles and sucking the money themselves and not being able to resell them. The more you do that, the less inclined these people are to stock up and drive these prices up. And the less inclined that the retailers are going to be willing to charge more for these bottles if they have to sit on inventory, because the longer that inventory sits on their shelves, the more money a retail store loses. So be strong. Don't let FOMO take over. Don't pay any more than you actually should for these bottles. Don't worry about missing out. There's plenty of great reposados you can try and you can drink for a fraction of the cost. Okay, so that's my public service announcement today from the Tequila Hombre. You have any questions? Comment below. I'd be more than happy to answer them for you. If you're new to the channel, welcome. I hope this information has been helpful for you and gives you an understanding of what this price situation's like with some of these bottles that are out there. And hopefully you click that subscribe button right there and the notification bell right next to it and become part of the Tequila Hombre community. We'd love to see you more on our live streams, as well as see your comments and stuff on the videos when I post them. And like I always say, life is too short to drink bad tequila, and it's also too short to overpay. So don't do it. And until next time, salud.